Welcome! In this video, we will go over the basics of editing and proofreading. Editing and proofreading are both important parts of the revising stage of the writing process, when you have finished the rough draft and you make final improvements. However, editing and proofreading are not the same thing. Let's go over some key differences between them. Editing should be done before proofreading. Editing is where you make major changes in wording or organization. For example, you might remove entire sentences, add in new ones, change the order around, or rewrite a phrase or sentence. When you edit, the focus is on improving clarity, style, tone, etc. On the other hand, proofreading is done after editing. Proofreading primarily makes minor changes in grammar, spelling, capitalization, and spelling. For example, during proofreading, you might add in commas, change a verb to a different form, or correct a misspelled word. Proofreading focuses only on correcting surface errors, such as mistakes in grammar or spelling. After you have finished the rough draft of your research paper, the first step in revising your paper will be editing. You should reread your whole paper slowly and carefully to look for areas to improve. Ask yourself the following questions. Is anything unclear or confusing? If so, try rewriting it to make it easier to understand. Would it help to add more specific examples? If so, go ahead and add more. Is there anything that does not belong or is unnecessary? Try to cut out anything that does not strengthen your paper, from unnecessary words or phrases to sentences that are repetitive or off-topic. Every word should serve a purpose. Would the points work better in a different order? Don't be afraid to move things around if it is logical to do so. Are there any logical fallacies or flaws in the reasoning? Try to find places where you have made assumptions or ignored possibilities, and use stronger reasoning. Are all factual claims supported by evidence from sources? If you make any claims without backing them up, add cited information to support it. Is the tone emotionally neutral and respectful to readers with opposing views? If anything seems too emotional, informal, or insulting, try rewriting it. Are all sources correctly cited? Check every place where you include information from sources, and make sure there is a citation that correctly follows the style guide. After you finish editing, it is time to proofread for surface errors. Here are some of the most important types of errors to check for: run-on sentences, sentence fragments, and other errors in sentence structure. Make sure you have no missing subjects or verbs, and that you use conjunctions and punctuation correctly. Incorrect word order, especially for questions and subordinate clauses. Incorrect verb forms and subject-verb agreement, such as studies shows instead of studies show. Incorrect singular and plural forms, such as this articles instead of these articles. Missing or incorrect commas, colons, or semicolons, such as not having a comma after a prepositional phrase at the beginning of a sentence. Capitalization errors, such as failing to capitalize every important word in a title. Incorrect word choice, such as mixing up history and story. Misspelled words, especially words that spell check will not catch, such as college and collage. Informal language and slang, such as saying kids instead of children, typing errors, such as not putting a space after a period. How can you be sure to catch as many issues as possible when editing and proofreading? Here are a few strategies that will help. Take a break between writing and editing or proofreading. This will help you clear your mind and come back to the paper with more energy and focus. Take your time. If you try to work too fast, you will miss things. Work slowly and carefully. If possible, use a printout rather than a screen. This will be easier on your eyes, and it will make it easier to examine your paper in detail. Read your paper out loud. You can do this by yourself or with a friend. Sometimes, if you hear the words, you will notice problems that you would not catch just by looking at them. Keep a checklist of specific issues to look for. For example, if you have trouble with articles, such as the and put that on the list. Proofread for one kind of error at a time. For example, go through your paper once just to check for missing articles, and then go through it again to look for punctuation errors, and so on. Finally, if it's allowed, ask another person to help. Never ask someone else to do the work for you, but getting another perspective on your paper is always helpful. You can ask a tutor, a friend, or a classmate. Even if the other person is also a student, they might still notice things that you missed. And of course, you can always ask your professor for help. You are always welcome to reach out if you have questions.